Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. For your message or massages, come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Energies. Up, Big Cat. I insist. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Let's dive right in and unpack. Big Cat Wave, come in! Big Cat, oi! I've got intel. Angelic Alchemist Mother, Big Cat Wave. Glad you could pop in on your busy day. Bending the matrix, darling dears, bending the matrix. We tell no one nothing otherwise. Sometimes, bestie, you have to what? Pop up and show these ninjas that they're playing with the wrong one. Today's not the day. They need to what? Rethink their life and their path and their ministrations, darling dears. Why? Because you're not having it blood. Just because you are a spiritual being having a human experience doesn't mean you can't give someone a good cuss in. Telling them like it is. And as a big cat, we don't shout and get wild. We just tell you exactly whom you are. That usually drives them to fury, darling dears. Some may be as bold as to try and what? Smack you across the face. Bestie, oi! Someone's gonna try and slap some sense into you so that you can talk to them in a tone that they feel is comfortable. What's that? In double speak, darling dears. They want to talk to you in they want you to talk to them in gobbledygook. Truly, even the cards are showing this. Is sick blood. I love it. I don't hate it. Millie de la Prida, Big Cat Wave. Let's dive in, darling dears. Let's dive in. Are you fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely? Good golly and gosh, you have the energy of a 666, darling dears. This is the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of enemies, darling dears. It's the house of mental illness. It's the house of even the ruminating thoughts, darling dears. Self-sabotage. The 12th house is also the house of confinement, possibly the madhouse, prison, or the graveyard. All of this and that, darling dears. It also speaks about your spirituality, darling dears. You've tucked right in. You've learned many things about yourself, and the biggest thing you learned, darling dears, 12th house, you used your subconscious to make you understand being alone is not lonely, darling dears. You had too many things to be getting to, and what's that? Badassery at its finest, darling dears. I tell you all of the time. It also speaks about closure, darling dears. The 12th house is also the house of what? Karma.com. As well as the occult. And as I said, the occult is hidden knowledge. You're learning new things, darling dears, because there's more than one way to see this world. And if you choose to still be in the 3D, you need to click off, darling dears. We straddle both worlds, the 3D and the 5D, don't you know? Pinkies up. Love it. I don't hate it. This is the energy of Neptune. Neptune is the planet of illusionment. It's about dreams, darling dears. Pay attention to your dreams, but it's also the planet of disillusionment. So somebody wants to come and trick you, darling dears. Sometimes you've got to pop up and show a ninja that you ain't the one. Hey! So the tomfoolery is about to commence. 12th house, as I said, is Neptune energy. Okay. Neptune is represented by Neptune rules the number. Come on, Case, think. the number 7. Okay, so it speaks about you being more analytical. You've gained a level of knowledge, darling dears, that you never had before. The number 7 also rules the south node. So this is about your karmic past, having broken some kind of cycle, darling dears. This is about the retraining of your subconscious mind, because it's your subconscious mind that runs things, blood. If it wasn't for your subconscious, you wouldn't be blinking and breathing, because if you left it for the mouth breathers, we'll be singing Shall We Gather by the River for you, darling dears. Wondering what kind of a spread they're putting on for lunch, because I'm telling you, the day you pass away, everybody be upset. They'll be crying. Some will probably be happy. But listen, let's not go straight to the negative, right? They'll be upset, darling dears. They'll have a wake. They'll talk about you, all of the highlights that they remember according to them. Then the funeral will come. They'll possibly even cry the loudest. But as soon as they push your body into that plot or burn you in the fire, darling dears, they'll be thinking about what's for lunch. They'll be going on with their lives. This is why you have to use the energy of the 12th house to go within, darling dears. It's about knowing yourself. Deep spiritual realization. Somebody's also using some form of escapism, darling dears. Past patterns, possibly a past person, darling dears. Yes, you are going to be getting some kind of a visitation, not in the too distant future. Okay, all right. You're about to meet somebody new, someone coming into your life, darling dears. This is spiritually guided. Remember, we're dealing with the 12th house. The 12th house is also the house of karma. And dharma, if you've been doing the right thing. All right. Okay, someone's coming into your life, darling dears, and they're going to have a profound effect on your life. They're going to change the trajectory, even though you are walking your own path, darling dears. I don't know how it's going to shape out. That would be in a personal read. But it's definitely what happiness, because happiness starts from the inside, darling dears. Understanding being alone is so different to being lonely. Lonely is people-pleasing territory, darling dears. Loneliness comes with point A and point B. Yeah, I used to have the tattered piece of paper for the longest time. It was yellow, it was torn off in places, and I said, we've got to get into the 21st century. Loneliness is point A, which is blood clot, and point B, blood clottery, will be afoot, and it will take you straight to where? The dummy bat territory, darling dears, where it's full of law 10 of the 48 laws of power. I told you about that law 10, darling dears. The unlucky, the unhappy, misery-loving company. Yes, people befriending you so they can watch you on the way down, darling dears, or help you in any way they can. Down. All right. Let's carry on. So you've got enemies, but then again, if you weren't doing nothing right, you wouldn't have enemies, darling dears. I say collect more. Fist bump. Why not, eh? They're so easily swayed, darling. They're so easily swayed. The 12th house is also the house of witchcraft, darling. Dear, spell work. Let's get a card and see what the energies are. Can I use this one, the multicolored deck? Haven't used this in a while. Intuitive deck. Warning, darling dears. Yeah, a warning. This is law number 25. It speaks about you having what? Recreated thyself, darling dears, in the image you're meant to be. 12th house is also what? The molding of your true persona, darling dears. It also speaks about you went through some kind of self-sacrifice in the face of tribulation and enemies. Some of them tried to make you feel filled with grief, or wanted you to feel like you was in exile, darling dears. Exile from the wicked, that's not exile, that's Shangri-La, blood. But anyway, I digress. They wanted you to feel in exile, darling dears. Listen, their energies and their words is nothing but kidnapping of the truth roof. Pinkies up. They're kidnapping the truth over there, guys. Kidnapping it. Okay, this one didn't come up. Yeah, heartbreak, darling dears. Heartbreak could be from gossip, through loss of contact with you, darling dears. This is like the energy of the 3 of Swords. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. A situation that was extremely depressive, darling dears. You have broken away from the situation. Could be through divorce. Divorced yourself. You decided, you know what? I'm going to fly the black sheep flag, darling dears, and go at it alone. Solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. Yeah, somebody's heartbroken because you're different, blood. And anytime, you see that's the 2 and the 5? Anytime we see a 2 and a 5, darling, there's someone in the public arena, someone that we will all hear about is about to go down Bobby Brown. This is going to happen in the next 5 days, darling dears. Major. Let's get back into the energy of the 7. You could be a life path 7, darling dears. The 7 encumbers 7, 16, and 25. It represents the letters G, P, and Y, as well as being ruled by Neptune, which rules Pisces, the letters O and Z. Okay, it tells me that you are highly intuitive. Tap into your psychic gifts, because your dreams, your downloads, your impressions, you're supposed to follow them to the letter. Why? You walk a tightrope over the next 7 days, darling dears. You do. And it's not something to be played with, darling dears. But, however, even though this rope is tight and the path is narrow, darling dears, you have free will to turn around and cuss a ninja out. What do you mean? Get thee behind me? Because they're going to be brazen, darling dears. You're about to cross some kind of a bridge into a new level of understanding, a new beginning. The 12th house is juxtaposed, darling dears, to the 6th house, darling dears. The 6th house is about your well-being. Somebody's also changing their employment. The 12th house represents retirement. It could also represent a promotion. Moving away, darling dears. You may even have a spiritual practice. What else? Again, I have to remind you of what? The warning, darling dears. Some of you are afraid to actually speak your truth because you feel as though you're going to bring karma on yourself. 12th house energy. Because you're trying to live a more bountiful life, a more self-actualized life. But it's not calling karma, darling dears. Let no one test your gangster. Especially if they're taking the piss. No, they've gone past taking the piss, darling dears. They'll be taking a shit. They're going to confront you with their what? Wickedness, darling dears. You have free will and free reign to turn around and cuss a ninja out. Anybody can get it, especially the baby. Anyone can get it. Listen to your intuition, darling dears. You'll know who needs to be on the chopping block, and you must not mince your words. Do not be afraid. Why? Because fear always rises, darling dears. And you are big cat, and you have what? Faith. Feel all in the heart. You'll know when you have to stand your ground over the next 7 days, darling dears. It's going to be extremely important for this leap of what? New ascension, darling dears. 12th house energy. I told you it's a magical house as well. Well, I didn't. Well, I'm telling you now, bestie. But listen, we're learning a lot of things. Somebody's feeling a lot of sorrow and seclusion at this moment in time. I'm also hearing bribery. Somebody's going to try and bribe you because the 12th house Neptune energy is also what? The hangman, darling dears. You're going to hear somebody possibly saying they're about to unalive themselves. Maybe they want some kind of meeting with you. 12th house is what? The grave, darling dears. I told you, we've seen CSI. We've seen it. We watched it together, right? We've watched it, right? We've seen the first 48. What do you mean they're threatening to unalive themselves and they must speak with you in person? Why? Baby, listen, as these downloads are coming through me, darling dears, I'm just as what? Flabbergasted and transfixed as you, bestie. Hold on, let me put my cheekbones down first, because listen, my eyes was about to get slitty and my lips were about to go thin. 12th house energy. Somebody's heartbroken, darling dears, but they will approach you over the next 7 days. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, colleague, it could also be a perfect stranger, but you have to stand your ground, darling dears. I'm not telling you to get physical with them, darling dears. I only teach you what? Like kung fu and self-defense. In my Don't Get Smoked videos, there's 2 out. The one where I'm wearing a denim jumpsuit. Listen, I even put the makeup on my face, darling dears. Got in my what? War stripes and tied on my bandana to let you know how to what? Drop it low and bust it wide so you can get away. Somebody's got to report that shiznai. Look, all the cards fell on me and look what's on top. Because you leveled up, darling dears. And nothing like a bottom feeder on the rocks of life wanting you to share in their karma, darling dears. The same ones that are on a spiritual short bus about to go past the sign that says you can't F off past this point. Level up means many things, darling dears. Not just about money, not just about the security around you, or even the friendships. It's about a spiritual level up. Why? Because we're talking about the 12th house. You've also got the number 7 on top, darling dears. Again, another spiritual number, darling dears. And again, it's to remind you to analyze everything, because you have what? Genius-like thoughts and intuitions at this moment in time, which you must follow to the letter. Be prepared to stand your ground over the next 7 days. You just got to pop up and show them, darling dears. Yeah, because you know your worth and you've added tax. Listen, nothing like being alone for a time, darling dears, where you get out of you wake up from this sleeping death, darling dears, of people pleasing, wanting to be a part of what? A bottomless pit of a gang, a horde, where no one is the leader, but everybody is filled by gossip, hatred, and subterfuge. Why? Never go back to a situation that you've already let go of, darling dears. It'll be a tampon string in your life. Let's press on. Let's press on. What does your ancestors think about this? Let's get a deck. Yeah, Kimberly loves Kimberly. They have to group up, and you have to remember how powerful you are, because the 12th house is about groups, darling dears. Like I said, it's the house of magic, witchcraft, darling dears. It's the house of hidden enemies. But it ain't so hidden, because you know whom the energy is. You will be able to read it. You got the number 7 on you, so you will have the spiritual intuition, intellect, darling dears. 12th house is also what? Buffing up your third eye to a bitchin' shine. What do you mean? This is not the time for you to allow anyone's behavior to put you into any form of confinement, darling dears. Whether it's confinement of a prison, a hospital, the grave, or in your mind, you will have a chance or an opportunity to stand your ground, possibly where you will meet this person along your path that is going to have what? A significant effect. Give you some kind of peccadillo that you change your path, darling dears. You have to remember, before you get the sweetness of the opening of the lotus, darling dears, you have to go through the chaos and the chaotic. Because the devil's most diligent workers have free will to intervene, especially when your spirituality, your ascension is assured, and you are doing it like a boss. Fist bump. And alone, I said, not lonely. All right. First card up, darling dears. Follow your passions. This is the Phoenix rising. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And again, a highly spiritual card. Something dramatic is coming towards you, darling dears. As I said, over the next 7 days. Listen, you're going to want to take action, darling dears. And you are being guided to take action, because it's all part of your ascension. Something to do with Lifa. Are we in Lifa at this moment in time? I'm sure we're in Lifa, isn't it? Yeah, because we've still got the energy of the full moon in Capricorn. Double whammy. It'll be full moon in Capricorn next month as well, darling dears. I believe on the 22nd. I've already put up the reading for its effect on each sun, moon, and rising sign, darling dears. Okay, but what I'm basically saying, darling dears, this opportunity, or this whatever it is, darling dears, whatever is about to occur in your life, you will have to stand your ground in order to reach this transformation, to actually take it for yourself, darling dears. It's going to give you a new sight. Some of you have the gift of seeing, darling dears, but it's about to be a different kind of sight. Maybe even as far as reading, being able to read other people's minds. Listen, oi, I barely want to go around people as it is. Now I can read your mind before I get there. Good golly and gosh. But again, it reminds me, I'm seeing all of these stars. To me, it looks like your ancestral team. It also speaks about past lives, darling dears. Your past lives, you wasn't able to go past this level, this particular point. Now you're being pushed, darling dears. You're being pushed. You're being aided and abetted. But you have to stand your ground at this instant. And by no means am I telling you to be violent. No, don't do it, darling dears. Why? Because you'll go to prison just like R. Kelly, and I will be the first person to write to you, and I'd write it in big, thick, black letters. I did tell you. I will write that to you. I will. And I will troll you the whole time you're there. Why not? But this is definitely an ascension, darling dears, and it's the energy that's building up. This also reminds me of something to do with the solar flares. If you... Okay, I'm going to tell you anyway. If you have melanin in your skin, darling dears, we have a lot of solar flares and it's affecting our DNA and our makeup. You need to be wearing green adventuring at all times, okay? Don't use none of the regular sun blocking stuff. No, you can use neem oil. Get yourself a spray bottle, put some few drops of it in purified water, whatever water. Bless that water, because you have the power within. Everything is building up around you, darling dears. So you speak it, so shall it be. Remember, I told you that. Get your green adventuring and keep it against your skin going forward, darling dears, by any means necessary. Some of you that are watching don't have a melanin in your skin, but you still have progeny or family members or people that are close to you. Gift them that, darling dears. Because the blessing in being a big cat is being able to rescue a big cat from something that they're caught up in. Remember that. Favor is for the brave and for those who realize that all this life is about turning back and helping others, loving unconditionally. But in order to love unconditionally, you had to understand what love was. You had to learn to love yourself first. And it wasn't, we have to get all the English, it wasn't easy. And I've told you many times, darling dears, I had to start with my clavicle bone. I had to beef it up. You know this bone here? Yeah. I had to beef it up, darling dears. I had to big it up on a daily basis and work my way around my temple. Because of circumstances and situations made you feel like you was unloved when you did not never need the love of anyone else. It was the love of self. When you love yourself, darling dears, you tap into the infinite energy. You have infinite knowledge and infinite soul tribe will turn up on your path when needed. Let's press on. Let's press on. All right. I feel guided to pull another card. Okay. I'm going to go with another Ancestral Oracle card. I believe this is the Distance Traveler's deck. If it's on the floor, it's coming through the door. What is it? Can I reach it? Oh, did I not just tell you we're walking on a very narrow path, darling dears, but we also have the chakra, the sacral chakra energy around you. This is passion, darling dears. This is confidence. As you're walking away, darling dears, as I said, something is going to draw you back, or trying to put you back where you was, darling dears, or put you into in your mind. I told you the ruminating thoughts of the 12th house, self-sabotaging, self-deprecating thoughts, darling dears. You're going to have to turn around. I've told you many times, bestie, we don't look back, right? Because Lot's wife, Salt Bay. No, this is part of your ascension, darling dears. It's not looking back, it's turning around, popping up and showing a ninja scent, right? 12th house could be through spell work. It could also be a karmic tie, darling dears. A mission that you have to complete, but you will have to stand your ground over the next 7 days. And remember, my readings are timeless, darling dears. Whenever you buck up on it, you have your countdown. Remember, I told you that. Pinkies up. It's a narrow path. Trust, darling dears, trust. There's divine plan. I love the unknown. I love it. If I could backstroke through it, I would. Base of the deck, because sanctuary is on its way. Remember, I told you that. Listen, you have free will to choose whatever you want to do, darling dears. But bestie, I wouldn't be your bestie if I didn't tell you. But you can choose what you want. I don't want to influence your mind in any way. So if anybody confronts you, cost them blood clot. No, I didn't say that. It fell out. It wasn't. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't. I was coughing. And I will tell it to the judge. May even get a shaggy on and deny it. I don't know. Right. Okay, we're going to press on. As I was saying, the number 7, darling, is Your luckiest numbers over the next 7 days will be 4, 5, and 7. You could be a life path 7. GPY, ONZ, somebody in a public arena in a major way is going down Bobby Brown within the next 5 days. Your luckiest days will be Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Avoid the numbers 2, 3, 6, and 8 over the next 7 days, darling dears. This is a healing and transformative time. Remember, this also encumbers the South Node. And as I said, there's some kind of cycle, something that you're going to have to break, and you will have to stand your ground to break it, darling dears. I believe it may be a situation where, yeah, you may have been in a confrontational situation before, darling dears. But this is not you. Listen, bestie, oi. If I could pull you to my side, I would. Listen, maybe I'll get the AI where I can just turn up in your house. Yeah, I'll just turn up anyway. What I'm basically saying to you, darling dears, you're gonna have to stand your ground. You are going to have to stand your ground in order to bridge this gap, whatever it is in your paradigm, darling dears. And this is a PSA. Let's press on. Let's press on. Let's get some tarot on the tableau. All right. You can use a deck I haven't used in a while. Base of the deck, you've got the Death card. Death card is also the 8th house. The 8th house is other people's money. It could be an inheritance, darling dears. It could be from your taxes. It could be from a will. It could be from some kind of insurance, some kind of investment that you've done, darling dears. But you have Skrilla.com, the folding stuff coming towards you, darling dears. It could be retirement money. I don't know, darling dears. It could be something from an insurance claim. The 8th house is also what? The house of the occult. Again, highly spiritual energy being bandied around at this moment in time. It's for you to catch it. Okay. The energy of the 8th house, darling dears, as well as the Death card. This speaks about a new beginning, the rebirth and the rise of you, darling dears, as your Big Cat Chronicles continues. I love it. I don't hate it. Okay. New possibilities, darling. There's somebody's, like I said, someone's gonna get a call or some kind of message about someone wanting to unalive themselves. They're very depressed, darling dears. And if they want you there, and listen, they just want you there so you can go to the grave together. Listen, you came into this world on your own and you must leave on your own. Listen. Oi, it's why I don't even like to get in my chariot with anyone. Why? Because if I go, I'm going by myself, blood. If I fall asleep at the wheel, I don't have to take anyone with me. No. But anyway, let's press on. Let's press on. Oh my God. Did you see what's happened, darling dears? Kate has reappeared, and we said that she was brown bread, and I still believe that's not the right her. It's not the true her, and I can believe what I want to believe. I've got free will and a deck of cards and my intuition, and I know what's going on. Didn't I tell you though that she had a head injury and there was blood? Go back and watch that reading, darling dears, and look at her over. I think it's over her left eyebrow. There's like the skin's gouged out there. I did tell you. I did. All right, let's press on. Yeah, the wrong choice, darling dears. 7 of Pentacles on its forehead. Lean in, bestie. Somebody's going through some kind of debt, darling dears. It also speaks about someone wanting to bring a situation around. They want some kind of fairness. So somebody is in what? Victim mode. This is the impossible dream that they're trying to dream, darling dears. It's a thankless task. A thankless task. This also, if it was a relationship, this is a partnership that was the wrong partnership, darling dears. You're going to be getting a message from someone from the past. Could be on your travels. It also speaks about it coming in very quickly. Mercury as well as Sagittarius energy, 12th house. This could be a foreign person in a foreign land. It also speaks about the higher education. When we see Sagittarius again, this is a highly spiritual house, the 9th house, darling dears. You're not even on their vibrating level. Mercury, you'll make mincemeat out of them. Maybe this person or persons are the ones that you're going to have to stand your ground to. Why? Law number 25. You've already recreated yourself, darling dears. You ain't who you used to be. It can also speak about travel. The Eight of Wands also speaks about what? Cupid's arrows. And you know how I feel about Cupid. Cupid's got raw. Cupid's got the Akashic records to peruse, blood. Time means nothing to Cupid, but they make you fall in love with wicked people who are up to wickedness. People that had no mercy on your hairline. None. Blew it back, darling dears. Blew it back. What's coming in very quickly? Again, it's the wrong choice. It also speaks about a bad investment. Somebody's going for a destabilization. Yeah, somebody who's got a disgruntled, darling dears. Someone else is moving towards signing a contract, darling dears. This is something that you've been working towards. It could be a business contract, money in reverse. Maybe your money has not been balancing out the way that you'd like it, darling dears. Let me hear more about this money. Money will come. Hey, what did I just say? We just saw the 8th house with the death card, darling dears. Money is coming. Other people's money. Listen, if you've got a business, it's clientele. Yeah, they're coming in the multitude, darling dears, because whatever you selling, darling dears, it's on fire. And it's all like a what? Run, tell that, word of mouth. It's about you being able to prove yourself in a situation. You may have as much as 2 progeny in the situation. When we see two pages on the deck, darling dears, it speaks about disagreements. If you have 2 progeny involved in your situation or in your hemisphere at this moment in time, they're like chalk and cheese. They are not the same child, darling dears. But look at their eyes. Always look at the eyes of the cards when you're reading them. If you have 2 different progenies living with you at this moment, yeah, they're like chalk and cheese. They're total different characters, total different likes. But the eyes are focused on you. You are a role model, darling dears. Whatever you done did. Maybe they saw you overcome the 12th house. Many an enemy, darling dears. Maybe they saw you walk this path alone. Maybe they've seen you bend the matrix. Maybe they've seen you make wine out of water, darling dears. Saw you break out some kind of a heartbreaking cycle. Watched you level up. Didn't even notice this. Just saw it now, the Hierophant energy. This is the God card in Tarot, darling dears. It's also Taurus energy, the 2nd house. Money. Next to the what? Level up, darling dears. And we just said you have some kind of finance, a contract, the signing of it, darling dears. It could be an upswing if you have a business. But you are being adored by the progeny that are around you, darling dears. You stand alone, but you're the baddest of them all. You are the one that brings the rainbow. But after all, you peak glitter ship cupcakes and fart rainbows. So why not, eh? Why not? Bad alone, darling dears. Your children, your progenies are admiring you at this moment in time. Why? Because your name is Mummy. Maybe mummy or daddy or mummy daddy or daddy mummy. You make shit happen, darling dears. You hold the biggest pentacali of them all. Somebody wants to put fear into your life, darling dears. Somebody's extremely jealous of what you've got going on. This is a dark-skinned person. It could be male or female, darling dears. Somebody who is extremely codependent. It also speaks about someone with addictions. Yes, if they've got addictions, they can't bloody afford it, darling dears. And if they are the ones that are up to what? The witchcraft, the spell work, it ain't working, blood. Where did they get it from? Google spell? I keep telling these people, these feeble-minded simpletons, Google spell? Well, who put it there? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a Capricorn midhaven. I question everything. Yeah, ask my progeny. They don't want me to be focused, mate. They don't want me to be focused. Yeah, but definitely moving forward, something is coming towards you very quickly. Looking at the Page of Swords, someone is also curious. This is the Tower moment. Maybe they come with the Tower, and the Tower is also what? Karma energy. Why are they coming towards? It's a relationship situation, Ace of Cups. What is this Ace of Cups here? Ace of Wands. Somebody wants a new beginning with you, darling dears. A new beginning relationship. Maybe they're seeing that you are making new contacts or networking, darling dears. This person comes in to breadcrumb you. They see you as feeble-minded and easy pickings. Didn't I just say you gotta pop up and show people? Show them! Bloody cheek! Oi! They're coming with point A and point B, guys! I told you! It will swiftly go into dummy bat territory! No! How dare they! Coming to breadcrumb the big cat. Ten of Pentacles, mental issues. When you see Pentacles on their forehead, darling dears, health issues, right? This one's cranium's doing a forward roll. They've got mental issues, darling. Listen, this could be a case for the first 48. I told you we meet no one, darling. There's nowhere. Who's that? Mr. Floyd channeling saying it's 828, darling. There's 8 and 828. 8 is the number of money and 28 is the number of wealth. And right about now, you're getting a lot of spiritual wealth right here, blood. Listen to your intuition, darling. If this reading is resonating with you, you will stand your ground in the next 7 days. One way or the other, darling dears. And you will be doing good work. This is someone focused. Yeah, but you see, they're holding a one, darling. No, I didn't say going to hand. God forbid, darling. We're too grown to be punching people around. No, I told you, I teach you self-defense and light kung fu so you can get away. Yeah, stand your ground, darling dears. Stand your ground. Let's get some more energies. Okay. The 12th house is also the house of secrets. It's the house of, as I said, prisons, hospitals, government offices. Maybe you're a government worker, darling. The 12th house is also the house of grief and funerals, blood. Listen, bestie, oi, don't go. Listen. If it's a private, listen. Because no good will come from that. 6 of Cups on its forehead, darling dears. It's an opportunity that you don't want to take. Nope. Listen, know your worth and add tax. We've just discussed this, darling dears. You are what? Being gifted with a warning, darling dears. Right? You're going to go around somebody who's heartbroken. And you have to remember, right? The only thing noble about being a victim is when you overcome said victimhood. This person or people haven't overcome it. They are blame shifting and mean, darling dears. Bestie, energy of the 7 is what? Use your third eye to read the room. You may know this person, you may not know them. What I'm telling you is that you will have to stand your ground. Queen of Pentacles does the diligent work, darling dears. Queen of Pentacles is focused, darling dears. You will have to take a risk over the next 7 days, but the risk is part of your spiritual ascension. I can't make it up, and all you will do is win. Chariot energy, and again, a highly spiritual card, moving quickly towards success, darling dears. You may even buy a car. The Chariot energy is also about a mobile home, or be moving home, but it's about you moving towards this success. Make the right choice. 2 of Swords on its forehead, darling dears. What about if bestie makes the wrong choice, right, and decides to let it, you're gonna let it slide. My lips are thin and my eyes are getting slitty. You're gonna let it okay then. Okay. Or if bestie lets it slide, this jumped up, darling dears. Look, Palace of Cups on its forehead, darling dears. The cups represent your soul energy, darling dears. You'll be letting down your whole lineage. Your whole lineage. This is not emotional fulfillment. You will be forever in your cranium about this missed opportunity to stand your ground. No, I am not telling you to go towards violence, but you're going to have to pop up and show a ninja that you ain't the one, and today ain't the day, blood. I like to cuss people out in the Queen's English, darling, so they understand every word. Stand your ground, darling dears. Stand your ground. Look, Knight of Swords, I can't make it up. You tell them like it is. I'm seeing Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces energy, darling dears. You could be Sun, Moon, or Rising. Know your worth, darling. Don't let no one talk to you like you is a nobody when you are everybody and everything. What do you mean? You're a volunteer. You came back to help this feeble-minded bottom feeder, whether they want it or not. You being here and knowing whom you are is enough to light up your part of the power grid. Remember I told you that? And we already discussed that someone is being put on your path, which is going to give you have a profound effect on your path. Maybe you'll change trajectory, whatever it is, darling. Just pick up a hobby or even tap into a new level of creativity you didn't even have the push or the motivation to access, darling dears. Yeah, I can't make it. You're gonna have to stand your ground, blood. Leo energy is just out there and fabulous. Leo energy is, yeah, it's about your creativity, it's about your talents, but it's also about you being passionate and saying it with your chest, blood. Look them in their eye chakra. When you listen, I told you, when you come here, you learn many things: kung fu, self-defense, astrology, tarot, numerology, as well as what psychology. I told you, my daughter is an assistant psychologist. We have, listen. If after people already knew that we've already done their psychological evaluation, whew. But some people are so fascinated and it has to be discussed in twos and threes. But I digress. You're going to have to stand your ground, darling dears. And a good psychological trick to get someone to go away immediately is you look in the middle of their forehead when you're talking to them, darling dears. When you want to bond with somebody, you look into their left eye. Unless you're like me and you know when someone's trying that trick. They can't do that to me, blood, because I know what's going on. Yeah, but like I said, use every tool, every trick in the book. Listen, because you will have to stand your ground. You don't have to get aggressive. You don't have to shout, but you have to speak your truth, darling dears. 12th house is going, sorry, the 12th house is hidden enemies, but the 5th house, darling dears, it could be groups. It's possibly going to be in front of people. It may not even be alone, darling dears. You're going to have to stand your ground. You have to. Yeah, I fear. And it will be good work, and there will be peace in the land, and you'll sleep like a baby, a newborn baby, darling dears. You'll be good. But you will have to stand your ground. You must pop up and show that ninja or ninjas. You got to make sure that they beat the traffic, darling dears. Take them to their stress threshold, their most piss-offiness, because guaranteed they can't beat you up, darling dears. They cannot. Next question. I already said it was going, it's because of some kind of spiritual ascension, some kind of level up that you're going through. Let's see what comes out next. What else do we need to know? Yeah, bitter, twisted. I told you that energy is coming towards you, darling dears. And they are going to be focused on you. They're going to read your energy, darling dears. This is unkind words, saying things deliberately to try and what? Take you out of character or get you off your trolley. Remember, anybody that has the keys to your emotions is your king, blood. And I refuse, by every lace front that I have, especially my melted lace fronts, to allow anyone to have that kind of dominion over me. I told you I was a dummy bat for half of 100, darling, isn't it? It wasn't fabulous. So there's no judgment here. But this is somebody who's deliberately going to try and take you out of character. Someone or someone's, because the queen can represent many. May even be female energy. A Mitch bitch or a bitch Mitch. They're coming through, darling dears, with point A and point B. I told you. What did I say? And this is in front of many, so it could be a public shaming they're coming for, darling dears. They want to take you down a peg or two in public. Good God, it's the truth. They want you to have some kind of public humiliation. All of this sword energy, darling dears. They're going to be saying things. Aquarius energy. Aquarius is the 11th house, the house of groups, darling dears. Associates, friendships. It could be in a working environment, darling dears. This person is out for your blood. They're going to try and humiliate you. They're going to say something, darling dears. And you're going to do the slowly I turn, but don't do what you always did, darling dears. You're a big cat. You have the energy of the 7. You are professor of the puzzle. You have to read that energy and turn it back around, because it's your ascension, not theirs. As you came here alone, you will leave here alone. Yes, you are on your path. Yes, the work has been hard. No, it's not fabulous, gorgeous, or lovely, but it's so worth it. I'd rather have my knowledge of the 5D and how my energy changes the world around me. I'd rather have all of that knowledge, how to heal myself naturally, understanding that where your Saturn is, darling dears, where your Saturn, and look in the house that's across from it, darling dears. It will tell you how to take care of your body. Yes, baby. Whether you need to exercise, whether you're somebody that needs other people's company, always look at the house. juxtaposed to your Saturn energy, darling dears. Just like your Saturn energy, when somebody crosses you, look what house your Saturn is in, darling dears. That's the karma they're going to get. Trust me. But then again, don't trust me. I told you, be a keyboard gangster. Research everything. Research everything. Knowledge is king. Yeah, they're going to try and pull you out, darling dears. They're going to try and draw you out. But you're going to have to stand your ground. Otherwise, you'll be forever in the energy of this missed opportunity. And it's going to F up your emotions. 12th house. This will bring you back to what? Disillusionment, darling dears. Escapism. Yeah. What's the other word? Low self-esteem, blood. Listen. And you'll allow other people, because this is somebody by themselves, you'll allow other people to come and take the shit in your... They won't take the piss, darling dears. They'll come in battalions, legions, darling dears, to do you the same dirty that whomsoever is going to what? Make you stand your ground, big cat. And you look in the middle of their forehead, big cat, and you say what you got to say. They won't expect you to turn your back and walk away. You turn your back and walk away, and you sashay away slowly, darling dears. We do not run. What do you mean? Suppose we fall. Whatever you do, bestie, make sure you do it spectacular, and always bless your water before you drink it. You charge it with what you want. If you want miracles, you say, this is for my miracles, so be it moat. If you want healing, you say, this is for my healing. This is for God. Whatever. Bless your water. Jesus told us, as can I, so can you. The Bible doesn't tell all the truth, but the Bible is the biggest spell book. You ever read the book of Psalms? Oh my God. Oh gosh, I was so thirsty. And so are they, darling dears. They're thirsty. Don't let the clowns run you over, darling dears. You may have to step out of character, but listen, don't start with the profanity. You don't have to shout. When I'm really telling someone off, darling dears, I lead with my little finger. And I talk in my normal voice. Why? Because when you're talking in a normal voice, people have to lean in to hear what you're saying. And when they lean in, they get in the middle of their forehead, bored through with my eyes as I'm telling them exactly as it is. I'm telling you, no one will best you, especially when you understand your power, what you command. 12th house energy, darling dears. You're about to bridge some kind of a gap. And you will be the first in your lineage to do this. Remember, I told you that. Pop up and show these ninjas. Get one final card, then we're out of here. I can't make this up. Stand your ground, Scotty. Right, I think we've done it. Like, we've done the damn thing. I think we wrung it out. I've told you everything. And now I've got to go. I told you I've always have a full day of minding my own business. And I've got to get back to it, darling dears. I'm very busy. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share these messages with whomsoever you feel needs it. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat. Energy's forever up and locked in, big cat. Fist bump.